Aiman. Welcome back to the third video in a series of home improvement and DIY based on laying tile in my family's basement. So in this video, basically I'm going to be taking what I learned from my dad about laying tile and try to apply it so that I can not teach you guys because I'm not a professional, but show you what I've learned. So before this video starts, for any people who are professional tile layers, just keep in mind that I'm not a professional, so I might make mistakes along the way and might spew things that are wrong that I've learned. But just in case, just letting you know that if you want to lay tile, don't come to me. It's also your responsibility if you lay tile in your own house and you follow a kid. But anyway, let's get to it. Alright, so as you can see over there, my dad has already laid some tiles. And right here, he's already shown me how to basically lay a tile. So right now what I'm going to try to do is to apply what I've learned from him laying a tile into this video. So I'm going to make a lot of mistakes, but let's just get into it. So first off, we already have the mortar mixed, as you can see right here. I'll show you how to mix the mortar, or not how to, but how I mix the mortar at the end of the video. Also how to cut tiles, but we'll get to that later. But for now, we have just the smooth paste that we're working with. So before you work with this paste, you also might want to wear some dirty clothes. Clothes that you know you could get dirty. I have jeans and a tank top. I'm not that muscular, but you know, it's all right. I can wear a tank top once in a while. And you also want to have a few. You might want to have a mask, but I don't have a mask right now. You also want to have a few tools like trowels. You can get by with like 1 to 3 trowels, but this one is definitely important. These, we're not going to use them for now. Okay, so basically here's the process. First, we're going to wet the area where we're going to place the tile. Then we're going to take the mortar, place like a glob of it down, place enough so that we can basically cover the entire area of the tile. Then we're going to place the tile down against the edges. Then we're going to sort of shape it around. And then we're going to clean up the edges so that the grout isn't too high. So that when we place the grout, it won't be too high. And then after that, we're going to place spacers. So let's try that. Okay. First off, we're going to take a trowel. We're going to take this one, which is easier for scooping. And we're going to wet the area. We're going to use this one right here. Maybe not too wet, but hopefully that's right. So what we do is we take a glob of the cement, lay it down. It's also a good idea to have a leveler. I just realized I don't have to measure how much I glob out, so just spread that around, see if you can basically get enough to fill the entire area. This is definitely not enough. I can already tell that some professional tile layers are gonna be cringing right now. Okay, maybe one more. It's alright if I make mistakes too. This is all part of the learning process. And plus, my dad can always just pick up on when I make a mistake and tell me when I'm wrong. Alright. I hope that this is right. So, I'm going to clean up this trowel. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this trowel right here, and it actually has these sort of like tubes. And what we're going to do is, alright, this is going to be tricky. We're going to sort of bring it along the edge here. But you want to stay away from the edge of the tile, because like I said before, we don't want the grout to be too high. If it is near the edge, what we can do is we can clean it up using a sponge, but as you can see, I've already made a mistake here. Yeah, this is a bit hard for me, but I'm working through it. So a few things that my dad picked up on: you want to hold your trowel about 45 degrees from the ground in order to help it out. They also have different size trowel teeths for different tile sizes. Like the tubes might be longer or shorter depending on how thick your tile is. But anyway, another trick he showed me is that you can also use the short side, especially if you're trying to get some of the edges or the corners. And finally, if you just want to get your mortar away from the edges of the tile, you can just start from that end and then just push it. But not, and I mean, as opposed to starting from this end. I hope that makes sense. Alright, let's see. Okay. Alright, I got that 45 degree. I'm gonna do one more here. Well, let's try it again. We're gonna clean up the edges anyway. It doesn't matter if I go over. Okay, let's try putting on that tile. So, as you can see, there's already some mortar on top of the tiles. It's alright, it's ceramic. We can deal with that. We're also going to be able to clean it up. But right now, we take a tile. What I want to do is we want to line it up at the right against the other tiles. Okay? And then what we want to do is you want to sort of pull it back. And it looks like it's a bit too deep. Now, if it's a bit too deep, what you want to do is you want to take out the entire tile, add some more mortar. Alright, so we're just gonna take it out. We're gonna wedge it out. You know, I guess I just thought it was gonna be easy watching, because I was watching my dad and he made it look so simple, but you know, turns out there's a lot. Turns out there's a lot to tiling. And in our case, what you can do is after we put this down, what you can do is we can go back. I should probably clean this up. Doesn't matter. We're going to go back. We're going to go back over that. I've said back many times. And the thing is, you can put more than is necessary because as you push the tile down, all of it is just going to come out anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to not push as hard when we're doing the 45-degree thing, but right here, we're going to just smooth it all out, and then we're going to do the 45-degree thing. All right. Okay, one more side on this side, just for good measure. The alternative method, which I'm guessing a lot of tile artists use, is basically to hold the tile like a sort of palette, like an artist's palette, and then you want to just take a glob and then put it on the tile, and then smooth it out. Now what you want to do is you just want to flip it over and put it down. Now you can just do this by itself without putting any on the ground. I bet a lot of professionals are able to do that, but in our case, we're just going to add some just to get this to not be depressed. Okay. Alright, so now it's smooth. So now what we're going to do, flip over. Hopefully, my genes will kick in with being able to flip this over and have it fall nicely. Because my dad can do this really well, but I don't know if I can. Okay, that's really dirty, but up against the edge, right? And then you want to push it away. Okay, now we're going to use a leveler. Let me just clean this up a bit. Alright, so as you can see, we have it all set down. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a level. I'm going to put it up against it. And then what we want to do is make it level. So you can either use by hand or use a plastic mallet and just knock it down until it's level with the other tiles. Alright, so my vision might not be quite as good. So hopefully this all works out. Like I said before, you can also use your hands, so we're going to push for our weight. Okay, so as you can see, it looks like it's level, but down here, it looks like it's getting unlevel. I'm going to do it on both sides at the same time. You can see that it's also coming out on the sides. We'll clean that up later. But now, okay, this side looks level. Not over this side looks like there still needs to be a bit more. Alright, so now we're gonna push it out by like half an inch. And then I'm gonna clean up that gap here. Oh wow. I just wrecked my new gloves. So here we have a sponge. What we're gonna do is we're gonna basically squeeze out all the water, and then we're gonna go over this edge. And it looks like there's a glob that's accumulated. We'll probably have to scoop that out. And now I have just realized I should have squeezed the other way. Okay. Alright, so we're just going to deal with the edges here. So. Alright, so our goal here is basically to clean out the edges so that when we put the tiles together, that basically the mortar doesn't make them stick edgewise. We only want the mortar to stick it down to the bottom. So in order to prevent that, what we would want to do is we want to clean up the edges with a kind of damp sponge. So as you can see here, all the edges seem to be perfect. And what's going to happen is that when you push it back up, none of the mortar should be like accumulating between the sides. And if you want to prevent more of that, if something ends up globbing, you can always just scrape it out. But in our case, as you can see, it should be perfect. Okay. It's not as easy as I thought. It's really difficult. Okay. As you can see, it doesn't appear that there's any mortar that's in between that should be sticking these sides together. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to use a spacer. So there are different sizes, but today we're going to use the 1/8 inch size, which I'm guessing, no, that's not it. Nah, these are the same thickness. I think I'm just fooling myself. Anyway, there are two ways that this can be used. Corners, which have a cross, and against edges, which are just two of them. So basically, if we want to do a corner, we just put it in between. And it looks like this corner right here is a bit messed up. Hold on. Oh wow, it's crooked. Let's see if we can get this. Alright, and now we're going to try one that's edgewise. Okay. And we'll probably try another one that's edgewise, just for security, because I'm a beginner, remember. And then I'm going to push it in. After this step, I suppose you can make sure that it's level once more. It appears level this way. I mean, the thing about these tiles is that they're cheap, 49 cents a tile. And because they're cheap, it might seem that they're also kind of warped. So you might need to use a longer level. Alright, so that one tile took me around 10 to 15 minutes. It probably takes my dad maybe 1 to 2 minutes to do a tile. So in order to not to make the video too long, I'm probably gonna not say give up, but like postpone my tile training for another day. I mean, pretty much everything I have to do from now on is just move all the loop here to this side. But anyway, talking about tiling itself, it is very difficult. I admit that. It's not something that someone can get very used to easily or quickly. And it definitely does require a professional's touch. It's not something that many people do DIY. And this video is definitely not a DIY. It's more like a vlog of my experience with tiling. So I'm gonna leave my dad to the tiling job because he is not a professional, but experienced enough to know how to lay tile. But now I'm gonna show you how to mix the mortar. Alright, so that's the end of the third segment. Today was very fun. We talked about tile cutting, mixing mortar, and laying a tile. I gotta say, I'm still a bit disappointed in my tile laying, but it's still a learning experience. I mean, it still kind of looks crooked from my angle, I just gotta say, but eventually I'll start learning how to do it and get better at it. And that's pretty much what the learning experience is about. Anyway, in the future what I'm going to do is probably do a video focused on the tile cutter itself, which we don't have, but I'm just pointing at the tile. And once all the tile is dry, what we're going to do is going to show you how to lay the grout. So that's going to be fun, and I'll see you then. So I'm Aiman, and thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and to other videos on EyeOnAiman, especially the home DIY. I don't know if you could call it home DIY. Yeah, home DIY, and pretty much any vlogs I do in my house. So I guess that's it. So signing out. Peace. It's been a long night too.